You're listening to the Meet the Farmers podcast with me, your host, Ben Eagle. Please remember to subscribe to the show wherever you are listening. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 219 of the Meet the Farmers podcast with me, Ben Eagle. Today on the show, we're meeting Lancashire-based beef and arable farmer Amy Wilkinson, who farms with her family on 285 hectares of tenanted land. As well as their arable rotation, the Wilkinsons raise 650 dairy crosses, which they finish. Amy is also a columnist with Farmer's Guardian. And Amy, I should also congratulate you because you've now officially finished Harvest 2023.
I know, but on the 9th of October, it's taken long enough, hasn't it? But we got there eventually. So
yeah, really long and drawn out. When did you start? Can you remember?
So oilseed rape, we started July, probably, I'd say 15th.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a long one, but no, we've changed our cropping a bit this year and different things like that, and reintroduced beans, which when the weather is against you, it's really difficult. But no, we got there in the end. So
yeah, well done. I assume it's been pretty wet where you are. Tell us about your part of Lancashire.
Oh, yeah. So we are right on the coast, very windy, and yeah, very, very wet. We seem to have the cold and wet constantly, especially this year. But no, we're about a mile away from the beach where I am. So yeah, very flat, very good for the arable side and quite good for the opportunities that we have for the beef side as well, because we do a lot of grazing on the salt marshes. So being on the coast, it works well for us, to be fair.
Nice. And give the tourist plug for Lancashire. Why should people visit?
Oh, it's gorgeous. And it's one of the few counties in the UK that you can see every single different crop being grown. It's down where I am in Southport. There's a massive vegetable kind of tomatoes and potatoes, all sorts of different things. And then you go up to kind of Chorley and that way, and it's all hill sheep. And yeah, we're a bit of a varied county, really. But no, it is gorgeous. But I've got to say, I do love Liverpool as well. I'm a bit of a Scouser at heart. I'm quite close to there as well. So no, that's a good night out. So yeah.
Best of both worlds. I mean, you grew up on the farm. So I'm wondering, what was I don't think I've actually ever asked this question. What was the best thing, but also what was the worst thing about that?
So the best thing was definitely you always had the space to just run around and do whatever you wanted. And I think that certainly came through even more during lockdown when we had acres and acres to roam across. And I was speaking to friends in London who were stuck in a tiny flat for God knows how long every day. But no, the worst thing was always being roped in. When we were younger, we used to grow, Dad still grew 100 acres of potatoes as well. So me and my sister used to get the text on the bus saying, oh, like, you get changed, bring a broom, you're coming to grade after school.
Grading time. Yeah.
Yeah, picking mouldy spuds off a line for years and years. And we used to get paid £1 an hour or get taken to Woolies at the end of the week, which was like the biggest treat in the world. So yeah. But no, I'm glad we don't grow spuds anymore. But
are you the only? You mentioned your sister there. Are you the only one of your siblings to go into farming? Or
so far, I'm the oldest, and then I have two sisters and a little brother. My little brother helps out on the yard quite a bit. He's a bit more of a tractor lad. But no, we've never been pressured or anything to go into the farm. My way in was a bit of a windy road, so yeah, we'll see where everyone ends up, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay, take us on that winding road. What was happening?
I was an average kid, really. I tried very, very hard in my GCSEs, and I did surprisingly a lot better than expected. One of those moments my mum and dad were like, oh, she's not stupid then. Like, Yeah,
I'm sure
so
they didn't think that before.
maybe. But no, so I then got into a very high performing college to do my A levels, and I absolutely failed miserably.
No.
Yeah, so came home that summer and I was really sick of it. I didn't like the college at all either. It was very much kind of, you've got to get the top highest grades kind of thing. And
Yeah.
it wasn't working for me. So we ended up, came home, worked for the summer, started really enjoying that. And yeah, I ended up going to Myeska College and I did my BTEC in agriculture there. And then I did my degree there as well. And absolutely loved it. Probably the best thing I've ever done. It brought me out of my shell a lot. I was the chubby ginger kid with glasses and braces. Like, school wasn't fun. I was very shy. And then, yeah, Myeska was kind of dragged me out of my shell and was like, talk to people. So, yeah.
This episode is being supported by our primary sponsor, Howden Rural, which is the new name for A-Plan Rural. The Howden team shares my passion for giving a voice to farmers, and we are both driven to raise the profile of farming voices to a wider audience. Howden Rural do a lot of work on social media themselves, sharing farming accounts and farming stories. They have a rural community blog which shares farmers' experiences, and they also support a growing number of initiatives that champion UK farmers, including this podcast. So a big thank you to Howden Rural for supporting Meet the Farmers. Great. Tell us a little bit more about your time there in terms of what you, in terms of, I suppose, the farming side as well.
So Myeska was fab. I met some of my best friends who are still my best friends. One of the biggest draws for Myeska when I went was they did amazing trips. So they did things like we did a study tour of Canada, Western Canada. We did a study tour of Texas. We were actually meant to go to Israel, but that one got cancelled because Trump tried to start a war, and then obviously we are where we are now. But no, the trips are amazing. And no, I just loved it. Met some amazing people and had the most fun I've ever had. And then I chose to stay on to my degree. I went round all the big unis, Harper and Royal Ag and all those ones. And I just wanted to get the piece of paper and get out, really. So that's what I did. And Myeska helped me do that. So, yeah.
What did you see on your trip to Canada?
Oh, all sorts. That was mainly, I say mainly, we did focus on beef a lot because obviously their system is very different. But we also went to, it wasn't an Amish farm. It was a different kind of, I don't know the word, a different kind of religious group, if that makes sense. And that was really interesting. For example, the homes, there's no electricity. It's all very traditional, but their farms, they have the highest technology you've ever seen. And it's just two completely different worlds, but they just kind of, their main focus is the farm and the food production in the farm. And it was crazy, really. And no, I actually fell in love with Canada and its people. And I ended up going on and working a summer out in Canada, which I absolutely loved once I finished my degree. And but Texas as well. Texas was amazing. It was proper cowboys and completely different to here. So
let's talk about the farm business. What have you got going on? And how's it changed, I suppose, over time as well?
So when my granddad was here, I think like traditionally a lot of farmers, they had a lot of different things going on, a lot of different sides to the business. They were very lucky in the 70s. My grandma and granddad managed to grow the business a lot. But then fortunately my granddad died in 1997 and my dad was only 23. All his brothers had been kind of set up on farms elsewhere, and dad kind of took over the home farm, if that makes sense. And he was 23 and had 2 kids by that point as well. So he had a lot going on, but since my dad took it over, we've definitely specialized into more the beef and the arable side. But I'd say the beef side is what we are known for a lot better. And I think it's because where we are, there's not many kind of livestock farmers either. It's just kind of us and one or two others. It's a lot of crops. It's a big crop area, really.
Yeah. Where's it? Just talking markets and abattoirs. What's the situation like in Lancs?
There is quite a few big ones up here, but they're a distance away. So we have one local abattoir, which is a small family-run business that we use to take our butchers' bullocks to. We supply a few butchers that way. But mainly it's Woodheads at Cone or Dumbia at Sawley, the two big ones up here. But no, they're all a fair drive. Or there's the one in Knutsford. Oh, I've forgotten that one's name. But no, there's a few up here. But no, there's not many small local ones. They've all seemed to disappear quite fast, really.
Yeah. What side do you prefer, the arable or the beef?
I'm a cowgirl. Yeah, beef.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I don't mind. I can do both. I enjoy both, but no, I get quite bored sitting on a tractor every day. Like harvest the first week, it's aged. Yeah, brilliant. And then when you're getting into kind of the fourth week, you're a bit like, no, I want to go play with some cows now. But no.
What are your challenges as a business going forward?
I think definitely being a tenant farm is massive for us. We recently had a massive change in kind of landlord. A millionaire came in and bought the entire estate, and we didn't really get any notice, told about it or anything like that until they turned up one day and said, "Well, your new landlord." So, yeah, but it's very difficult they're not very keen to invest in the farm, which it's all been put up in the 1960s. So it needs some investment, but as a tenant, you don't feel like you can be the sole investor, if that makes sense, because you don't own it. But no, we're doing as much as we can through the kind of the grants, which are great. We concreted the yard this year, which was massive for us. We spent years wading around in kind of slop through winter, and yeah, this is the first year with concrete, and we're very excited. So
it's the small things sometimes, or big things in that, really. But yeah.
Yeah. So no, but also obviously the weather is always the biggest one. But yeah.
Meet the Farmers is brought to you by RuralPod Media, the only podcast production agency to specialise in the rural sector. We're on a mission to make rural stories mainstream and help businesses, organisations and communities like you tell your story through podcasting. Podcasting is a fantastic way of connecting with your audience, whoever that might be, getting your message out there and networking with leaders in your niche. RuralPod Media can help you by launching your new podcast or helping you with the technical side. We also provide podcast training and an audit service if you already have a podcast. You're not sure where to take it to next. For more information or to book a call, visit ruralpodmedia.co.uk. That's ruralpodmedia.co.uk. Yeah. Taking things forwards. I mean, you've grown your numbers in terms of the number of dairy crosses that you're bringing in. But any other sort of opportunities you're sort of looking at, or are you quite sort of happy with the situation at the moment?
We are probably to max capacity with the cattle side of the business. We wouldn't be able to fit any more in. But no, I think my dad's looking at growing the arable side maybe a bit more. We've been offered a few opportunities, but we've also been offered a few on the beef side as well. I've kind of, through lockdown, I got into selling beef boxes, and because it's salt marsh beef, and there was always salt marsh lamb, and I thought, well, it's a niche I can only try, and it's gone really well. We now supply a really great local butchers, and that's helped us get into restaurants, and I'd love to kind of move forward that a bit more and kind of go work towards that a bit more. That I'd say that's my more, as we've kind of, me and Dad are both on the farm, we've kind of got our sides now, whereas I'm the beef and he's kind of the crop side. So it works well. And especially as Dad's getting older, he doesn't want to be kind of like messing about with cows all day. He's quite happy sat on his combine. Like, he was buzzing today. So
yeah, good. The Farmer's Guardian, how did that opportunity come about? And have you always enjoyed sort of, I suppose, talking about what you're doing on a wider scale?
Yeah, so it was very random. Basically, they were advertising on their Facebook page about a family-focused kind of writer. And luckily, I'd been and done a day's work experience during #Farm24 before, and editor Ben, who is Ben Briggs, the editor at the time, I emailed him and I just said, look, I'd be up for it, but if you have anyone else, literally, who would be better, like, there's no offense, nothing like that. But no, he was really kind. He was really lovely, and he was like, no, actually, I think you'd be really good at it, just from like your personality. And I was like, okay. So yeah, we started doing that, and they've just been lovely to me. They've given me so many opportunities. I now do some freelance work for them as a journalist. They take me to Llama every year and make me kind of interview people, which is ace. It's just a completely different thing to be doing, but I absolutely love it. And I especially love just writing my column, my silly little stories about farm life. Yeah, they're my favorite things to do. So yeah, that's what I really enjoy about it.
Yeah. You're not, I probably shouldn't ask this question. You're not tempted to leave the farm, become a journalist?
No, I don't. No. I think I've always just seen it as something extra, especially being a tenant farm. I think it's good to have something outside the farm as well, just to fall back on. But no, I absolutely love it, but I'm not. I like my cows too much. It's what Toby Watley, head of machinery, says is, I'd never get you full time and you like your cows too much. I was like, yeah. So, no.
Just a little more about our primary sponsor, Howden Rural, which is the new name for A-Plan Rural. Same people, different name. Howden Rural provide bespoke insurance cover for farms and estates. This could be for anything from tractors and machinery to a new exciting diversification venture. So for more information, visit howdeninsurance.co.uk/rural. Broadening us out to the wider industry, what for you do you think is the biggest challenge, and there are many, farmers face generally at the moment?
Oh, God. Obviously, the weather's a massive one. We seem to be getting drier springs, which luckily up here for us hasn't been too bad, as we're on quite mossy soils. But when it starts to rain like it's rained this year, we've obviously been washed out pretty much. But there's all sorts of different issues going forward. Recently, the NFU, my local NFU, arranged for us to meet our local MP, Conservative MP, and it's very difficult to talk to someone who has that they could be saying that to any industry to keep them happy, if that makes sense. I think the sway we have is deteriorating, but also grew in the general public a lot during lockdown. So I think we have more respect in the general public, but not in obviously the politicians. But no, I think as a young person, I'd say trying to plan for the future is really hard. I have a lot of talks on Instagram with people my age, trying to talk about how you want to move the farm forward and how to start those conversations, but also a lot of new entrants who are really struggling because there is no farm tenancies anymore that allows them to make a go of things. But no, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. There's a lot of good opportunities as well in this industry. I think I'd like to say I'm a good representative of that. You can go out and find a different way as well. But no, it's a bit of a scary time at the minute, isn't it? So
yeah, you could say that. But you must be. I mean, yeah, because you are where you are, and you're forging ahead. So you must be pretty confident in your future in ag.
Oh, definitely, yeah, 100%. I'm very lucky that we had the family farm, and my dad, although his patience seems to have lessened as we got older, when I started, he was really, really patient and showed me the ropes really well. And I hope to do that for other people. We employ students and that kind of thing to encourage people into the industry. But no, I absolutely love what I do. I couldn't do anything else. And I'm passionate about it. And that's probably why I get asked to talk to people like MPs, I guess. But no, I think if it's in you, you can't do anything else. So, no, I think also using the general public to your kind of advantage has really helped our business. For example, I started posting on Instagram and Facebook, just silly stories, and that's massively helped me grow kind of the beef side with doing boxes, and getting into restaurants has been amazing as well. So yeah, I think talk to the general public. Educate may be the wrong word, but don't berate them for not knowing where their food comes from, because it's not their fault at the end of the day. If you go into any high school at the minute, my brother's still in high school, they don't get taught how to cook, let alone where it comes from. So yeah.
How far afield are you selling the boxes?
So I'd love to, my big aim for next year is to be able to get a website up and try and sell kind of through the post.
Okay.
It's something that scares me a little bit, but look, at the moment it's just kind of locally. But where we are, I'm very lucky that obviously we have quite a few, there's 2 big cities near me. There's a lot of towns kind of thing. So no, I have a fridge van called Vera. She's not the nicest thing to use every day, but she does the job well. So yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, that there are plenty of farmers in far more remote places who are making it work. So I'm sure you can too.
Yeah, definitely.
One of those classic questions which everyone hates. Where do you see yourself in 10 years' time?
Ooh, I hope to have got Southport salt mash beef in a fancy restaurant in London.
Okay.
That's one goal. And I hope to still be working hard, but maybe have a bit more of a life as well. I think that's one of my goals, is to have a bit more of a work-life balance. And I would like to still be writing silly columns that hopefully people will enjoy. So yeah, I think they're my 3 big goals. But
they sound pretty good goals. We're going to move on to the quick questions. You said you're not much of a tractor person, but you're still going to have a view on this. What color tractor? Red, blue, or green?
Red. I'm a Massey girl.
That's nice and easy. If you had to choose one and one only, what would it be? A lambing season, a harvest season, or milk every day?
I'd quite like to do a lambing season, just because it's something I haven't done before. I used to milk on a dairy farm kind of as once a week, but no, lambing season, I'd give a good go, to be fair.
Oh, I like that, reaching out to another sector. Your all-time favourite song?
Okay. There's so many. Okay, if I'm in the tractor and I need a bit of a boost during harvest, Sunshine by Dario G. It also makes me think of Orla McCool on Derry Girls on the last episode, which is my favourite TV programme ever. So, yeah. Cool. Or anything Dolly Parton. 2 Doors Down, Heartbreak Express. Absolutely adore Dolly.
Nice. You've already said your favourite TV show, so I'm going to ask you your favourite book.
Oh, okay. I do love to read fiction. I'd say Lexus to the Lost by Iona Gray, which is a bit romantic, but I love it. And I'd say the best farming book I've read recently. I'd say it has to be Chief Shepherdess is one. Yeah. Hers was really good, I'd say. It covered some tough topics, and I like that one. Yeah.
Great. Good shout outs. And the final questions, your message for the public.
My message to the public is question where your food comes from. you serve a plate of food and there is not one thing on that plate you could tell me that doesn't come from, you don't know where it's come from, for instance, it's all just come from a supermarket, kind of question that and go, well, where does it actually come from? I'm not trying to berate anyone or anything like that, but I think having that connection, it improves kind of your respect for your food and your body in general and health and all that kind of thing. So yeah, just be curious, ask a few questions.
Fantastic. And Amy, your message for farmers?
Work hard, but don't forget to make time for yourself. You are your business's biggest asset. And if you're stressed and you're close to tears, it's not going to work very well, is it? So yeah, make time for yourself, make goals outside of the industry, outside of your little business, and just make sure you spend time with your friends as well.
Brilliant. Important message, I think. And finally, your recommendation for a blog, podcast, or social media account to follow, which can be farming, but it doesn't need to be farming.
Oh, okay. I'll do a few. So podcast that isn't farming, obviously, I am true crime fan addict. I'd say the Morbid podcast is really good. Instagram. Oh, go on. I'll give Frank a shout. The Gate Farm is Frank Carr. He farms near Malham, and he films. It's just beautiful scenery. Even if you're not interested in kind of farming, it's just kind of escapism. So I like that one as well. Yeah.
Great. Fantastic. Amy, thank you so much for going on the show, especially after your really, really long day, and congrats again for finishing harvest.
Oh, yes, we did it.
Yeah,
thank you very much for having me.
Been a pleasure. That is it for today. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the show. Please also leave us a review wherever you're listening as soon as you finish listening to this. Massive thank you again to Amy and to our primary podcast sponsor, Howden Rural Insurance, for supporting the show. Any links we mentioned today, any extra information is in the show notes. For now, though, I'm Ben Eagle. This has been Meet the Farmers. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you have a great week.